Okay, we are live. I need to get... Check, check. All right. I think we're live. It appears we are live anyway. Excellent. We are waiting on Eric to join us. He sent me a quick text and said that he is going to be a couple minutes late. So, while we're waiting on Eric, and I'm getting my headphones ready, which don't seem to be fitting quite right. All right. Make sure everything's working here. Check, check. Okay. That's where Eric will be. Right, nope, right. How do I do this? Right there. All right. We're going to wait for Eric to join us. And so today, this is going to be exciting. We're going to continue the conversation of bringing new life to older Macs. This is kind of the next phase of our conversation. We had the first one 3 or 4 episodes ago. Gosh, I can't remember now how many episodes ago it was. But it's been a little while. And it's time to continue this conversation. So Eric and I were talking about what to discuss this week. And this is the next phase. This is where we are going to be talking about bringing life to Macs that Apple is no longer officially supporting, but are still very valid machines. So, for example, the iMac I have at the office is a 2012 iMac. Far from being supported by Apple anymore, but it still makes an excellent day-to-day productivity machine. But when you are using a machine like that, you want to make sure that you're up to date. You want to make sure that you're secure, that all the software patches that can be applied are applied. So, how do you do that? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Straighten my hat. Okay, there we go. See, one of the things I forgot to do is actually start recording. Now, this was being recorded. What's going out, much to the chagrin of anyone watching. This has been recorded, but I wasn't recording the audio, so now I am. I have to have a checklist. I need to create a checklist of things that need to be done to start each episode. I didn't used to have to do that. When Formac only started in 2006. And I should probably point out, we are just about up to the 17th season. 17 seasons of Formac Only. When I wasn't able to do it on a regular basis, on a regular weekly basis, like we had been doing, I switched to seasons, kind of a British TV inspired version of Formac Only, where the season would be from September. I started the season right around the time that Apple did its fall event, its iPhone event. That's when I would start a new season. And then we'd wrap up at the end of August. Excuse me. And what we decided to do when we switched to this new, live stream our recording process. That's what we're doing, by the way. We're just live streaming the recording process. This isn't the actual show, as it were. This is all going to be edited down and turned into the actual show that's released to the feed. Well, when we started doing this, I said, hey, it really makes sense to switch the start of the season to correspond to when For Mac Guys Only started, which was the middle to end of November 2006. And we're just about there. And coincidentally, we're at episode 398. We did have a little hiatus for a couple years there, but we're at episode 398, and 399 is the one that is going to wrap up season 16. Wow. So season 17 will start with episode 400. No great fanfare, no special things, We did that for, was it episode 100? I'm trying to remember which one. I think it was episode 100. I think we did something for 50. That was a big deal to make it to 50 episodes. And then I think we did something for episode 100. But we're not going to do anything special for 400. But that's going to be the start of season 17, which is pretty cool. And we're just coming up on that. Let's go back for a second here. Let's go back while we're waiting on Eric. Let's go back in time. If anyone is curious, you can go to formaceyersonly.com, and over on the right, you'll see the FMEO archives. And you can scroll all the way through that. Now, we actually started... Now, some of these archives include blog posts and things like that I wrote prior to For Mac Guys Only starting. But we started the show in November of 2006. So you can go back, you can click November 2006, and go back to November 13th, 2006, episode 0. That was the pilot episode of For Mac Guys Only, episode 0. A new weekly podcast for the Mac community offering different perspectives on current Mac news and events. Well, that much hasn't changed. By the way, we're waiting on Eric to join us, so I'm just kind of going through a little history here. But that was an interesting episode, episode 0, November 13th. Who I am, what the show is all about, my history with Apple and the Mac. And interestingly, this ties in with some of our recent conversations. The very first episode of For Mac Guys Only talked about how to load Windows 98 in Parallels. How about that? And then episode 1 was November 20th. And the question then was, is the iPhone, which everyone was calling it, everyone in the rumor mill was calling it the iPhone because of the iPod, obviously. And is the iPhone really coming this time? And we talked about Zune and iPod support for podcasting. That's awesome. Excuse me. But all of these shows are still available for download. You can still go back and listen to them if you want to. Episode 2, we got a little more into the nitty-gritty of things. For Mac Guys Only mourns the loss of the following apps. Hamachi for the Mac. Anyone remember Hamachi? That was really cool. That was a neat way to connect remotely and securely to computers within a network, which seems silly these days, but that was a difficult thing to do at the time, and Hamachi made it easy. Juice Receiver was a podcatcher, a very good podcatcher. I enjoyed that. Open Office for the Mac. Now, that's still around, but the reason we mourn the loss is because they weren't really improving it. They weren't, at the time, they weren't bringing it up to Mac standards. The GUI on it was really kind of off, and it just wasn't made for the Mac. And there was a fork called Neo Office, which I forgot about because I've been using LibreOffice in recent years. But Neo Office was the version with, as I wrote in my show notes, a proper Aqua interface. And then second gen iPod Shuffle we talked about. And then how to duplicate a data CD in OS X. Cool. So that was November 2006. And we're just coming up on the beginning, wrapping up that 16th year of For Mac Eyes Only and coming up to season 17. And then, of course, you can go to December 2006 and you can see what we talked about then. December 18th was, let's see, what did we talk about then? Second in a series of predictions for products that Steve Jobs will announce at January's Mac World Expo. And Photoshop CS3 beta was released. Wow. It's kind of fun to go back and go back in time and take yourself through the history of your experiences with Apple, your experiences with the Mac, by seeing what was news at the time. I will very often keep a copy of the newspaper that comes out every year for my daughter's birthday, or even sometimes my birthday, depending on what the headlines were, and just kind of set it aside and then go back and look and see what was going on when my daughter turned 20, for example, or when I turned 50, or whatever. It's fun to go back in time, and going back to the old episodes of For Mac Eyes Only is kind of like that. It's a way to go back and experience what the world was like in terms of the Mac ecosystem. Obviously, the iPhone wasn't out yet. We were just talking about whether, my head is still crooked, talking about whether it was even actually going to be reality this time. We were talking about that in episode, was it one or two? And how much the world has changed since that iPhone got released. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. I was still obviously a big advocate of Mozilla Thunderbird. Use Mozilla Thunderbird to mail photos from iPhoto. I still think it's one of the best email clients that you can get. I love Thunderbird. If you want a Macified version of Thunderbird's pretty good. It integrates pretty well into the Mac. But if you want a Macified version of it, you can look at Postbox. And there are a couple other mail clients that are forks of Thunderbird. Thunderbird being an open source project from the folks who make Firefox, Mozilla. I love the power. I love the flexibility of Thunderbird. And it's the email client I go back to time and time again. Oh, interesting. Episode 3, December 4th, 2006, was Essential Mac Apps. And you know what? My list has not changed that much since then. December 4th, 2006, Episode 3, Essential Mac Apps. So Essential Mac Apps back then for me was, well, we just talked about this. Number 10 was a different mail client, different than Apple Mail. And my pick was Mozilla Thunderbird. Number 9 was Flip for Mac. Flip for Mac was interesting. It was one of those things that allowed you to run Microsoft specific video or to play Microsoft specific video files on your Mac. Growl was a notification center for the Mac. Still works. It still loads. I still have Growl on one of my computers, and I only recently turned it off because I realized nothing was really using it anymore. But if you wanted notifications on the Mac, you had to use something like Growl. There was no notification center. That came much, much later. Skype was number 7. I guess these days that might be Zoom. Skype is still great. Skype still has a purpose, but fewer people are using it than before. And even Microsoft is kind of, since they purchased it, they've integrated some of the technology, I think, into Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is where they're putting all their focus, and Skype isn't getting as much love. But you can still use it. You can still get dedicated phone numbers through it. You can still use it to call landlines anywhere throughout the world. If you have a subscription, it's fantastic software and has a very specific purpose. Just not as much purpose as it used to have. Chicken of the VNC was number 6. Chicken of the VNC was a, well, you can probably tell by the name, a VNC client, virtual network computing. Is that what it stands for? VNC, virtual network computing? I think that's what it was. A remote desktop type solution is what it was. You had to have a VNC server, and then Chicken of the VNC was a client for the Mac that allowed you to connect to that VNC server for remote desktop work. CyberDuck was number 5. CyberDuck is an FTP client that is still around, still a very well-supported client, FTP client for the Mac. And I have since moved on to using Transmit. Transmit is amazingly awesome. And if I'm going to use something different, sometimes I'll switch to the Duck. I'll switch to the Duck if I need to. But I know Forklift. Forklift is an FTP client for the Mac. That's decent as well. But yeah, I really love Transmit these days. I think the idea behind Essential Mac Apps back in 2006 was to find apps that would be little or no cost. And of course, Transmit is a licensed application, so you need to pay for that one. But yeah, still around, still fantastic. Adium was an instant messaging client that came in at number 4. Adium, gosh, if you used ICQ, if you used AOL Instant Messenger, if you used Microsoft, what did they call it? I can't remember what Microsoft called it. Microsoft's chat. Adium was one of those multi-protocol instant messaging clients, and it's still around. You can still download it. You can still use it if the service that you want to use is around and active. You might use Adium. One of the fun things about Adium was that you could change the dock icon. There were all kinds of cool pop culture-like versions of the Adium duck that you could reskin the icon with, and from Star Wars characters to Disney characters. I had a Batman duck, which, yeah, I've got a lot of Batman stuff back there. But Adium was, so we had 2 ducks in a row. We had CyberDuck and we had Adium. Number 3 was Mozilla Firefox. Again, this is my Essential Mac Apps list from December 2006, episode 3 of For Mac Guys Only. Mozilla Firefox was number 3. I still rate that as the absolute best web browser that you can use on your Mac. I find they are one of the best for folks who are concerned about privacy, for folks who are concerned about security, and for folks who are concerned about the open web. This is open source software and open standards. Chrome is getting just a little too I don't know. I don't want to say it's too bloated because it really doesn't ship with a whole lot of features in it, but it's certainly become less stable. And I've found, at least with client computers, that it's much more fraught or much more prone to malicious adware. I find far more malicious adware on Chrome than any other browser. And of course, Safari's gotten better, but I don't find Safari to be quite as compatible as Firefox is. Number two was an Office suite. Um, and I listed both Microsoft Office and Neo Office, depending on what your needs were. If you needed to have something where you were absolutely guaranteed compatibility with Office documents, you go with Microsoft Office. And if you wanted something that worked with nearly all Microsoft documents, um, but was available at little to no cost, you would go with Neo Office. And that's true for LibreOffice these days, too. Um, LibreOffice has far better compatibility with Microsoft Office documents, especially Office 365 documents, than OpenOffice does for sure. And if you're looking for an alternative, in fact, I would say it's better than Pages and Numbers in Keynote as well. The benefit of LibreOffice here in 2022 versus 20 or 2020 2006 2006 was that it integrates very nicely into the Mac. It's far more compatible, and again, it's still available at little to no cost. You can support it, and probably should support it if you make a professional. If you use it in a professional environment, you should be sending them a little change here and there. And they have a link for businesses that use LibreOffice in the workplace. And check it out because they are really doing great stuff with it. It is not my primary Office suite. I fluctuate between Pages and Microsoft Office in that regard these days. But LibreOffice is still installed on all my computers, and one of the reasons is its ability to open old, and I mean old documents, like WordPerfect documents. It can open those. MacWrite. I've had luck opening up old MacWrite documents with it. It's amazing. So if you want something that's oh, I know what I was going to say. LibreOffice, unlike Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, allows you to set it up so that your default file format is an Office 365 or Microsoft 365 file format. So that's great. A lot of credit has to go to Microsoft, of course, for the open file format that they migrated to with, well, it's been several years now. But they migrated to with DocX and XLSX and what is PowerPoint? PPTX. Since they migrated to that more open standard, the XML file format standard, it's become easier. Oh, and here's Eric joining us. Okay, let's see here. Let's assign Eric to guest one here. It says guest has muted themselves. Are you muted?
Looks like okay, I'm having okay. Can you?
I can hear you now.
Why all of a sudden am I having connecting to you?
I can hear you. I heard you watch. Can you not hear me?
Wow, what is going on? Why? Okay, let me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
just gonna.
Burp, 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 burp. Now you're frozen. Oh dear.
Hey, it's shot. This is awesome. It's a nice picture of you.
Let me see if there's any kind of setting I can change in Ecamm to improve this.
Okay, why? All right, I'm going to try to hang up again. It's like completely. I'm going to see what my network settings are at.
I've been I don't know if I've been
Because
streaming
I cannot.
successfully. You can't hear me?
Hear you.
Oh,
Now
now you can hear me?
I can see you talking now.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I'm going to switch back to me here. Let's see. Let me see. I'm going to check something here because maybe I'm not coming through correctly. Let's go into here. Well, there I am. Let's go into here. Well, there I am. Yeah, see? There we go. Okay, well, I'm going to back out of that because I don't need to be streaming me, watching me, streaming me. Okay. All right, let's go back here. We were at an Office suite. I don't know what I was saying about LibreOffice and NeoOffice, Microsoft Office, but LibreOffice is great. You should actually have that installed on your Mac if you want to have a little backup. A little backup. All right. Let's see. It says guest is in green room. I'm going to assign Eric to guest 1, and then I'm going to clickety click, and I think he can hear me. Maybe
I can hear you now.
you're moving
Yes.
better. You're moving.
Yeah,
better.
you're moving a lot better.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
what the
good.
heck?
I have no idea. Did you get the little that you were like frozen like that with that kind of happy smile?
You were too.
Like I don't know how long. It just
Yeah, you were too.
You know what? I wonder if it's my stupid AirPods. I wonder if they're like having trouble.
Stupid AirPods.
I know. I think that's what it is.
Well, I've been entertaining the audience, which consisted of me. So I've been self-entertaining for 29 minutes. I was going through, I was pointing out, and now everybody is in suspense. Everybody is in suspense because I was just about to hit number one on my list. But I'll tell you what I'm doing. So I said, hey, we are just a couple weeks away from the start of season 17 of For Mac OS Only.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So I was going back through time, going back through history, looking at episode 0, episode 1, episode 2. I'm on episode 3 of For Mac OS Only, which was the very first essential Mac apps list.
Really? Wow. Oh my gosh.
That
Well,
was,
you started early then. You got it
December,
going really early.
yeah, December 4th, 2006. And
Wow.
I was just about to hit number one. I went through 9 items, and I was just about to hit number one. I could tell people they just got to go read it for themselves. But
They just got to go. Well,
I'm going to go ahead and
I'm kind
say,
of interested now. I want to hear.
all
Yeah.
right. Well, number one on the essential Mac apps list for December 4th, 2006, shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. This was just recommended by us a couple episodes ago. It's still in active development. It's a wonderful piece of software, and it's called Super Duper.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I was kind of wondering if you were going to say that. You know, ever since you turned me on to Carbon Copy Cloner a number of years back, it wasn't that I actually have a license to Super Duper, and I use ChronoSync. I use them actually before
All three. Yeah.
probably any of it, and but I haven't used Super Duper, and I wasn't sure, like you just said, if it was still in active development or not, which is really sad to say that because I should know better. But
Yeah.
no, I used to use that all the time to
Yeah.
clone stuff, and it was just
Shirt Pocket
yeah,
Software. Shirt
Sure
Pocket
Pocket
Software.
software.
Yep.
Yep.
And I actually just upgraded all three.
Oh,
I
you did.
I just
ChronoSync.
upgraded yesterday or the day before. I upgraded Carbon Copy Cloner to version 6, and Super Duper. They have a new version. You know, they were under a licensing where when you purchased it, you got lifetime updates.
ChronoSync has that too.
ChronoSync has that too. Yeah, ChronoSync is amazing.
Yeah.
I just updated that as
Yeah.
well. Shirt Pocket had there was some reason. It's been a few weeks now. I can't remember, but I think it's a charge. It's a paid upgrade now.
Paid upgrade now. Yeah.
But that's okay. It's okay because
Yeah.
it's such good software,
It
and
is.
they detailed why you don't. And here's the deal: you don't have to upgrade. The other version is just fine. I should probably
Yeah.
look it up while we're talking and not accidentally malign them. I don't intend to do that. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the latest version, the Apple Silicon version, is a paid upgrade. But if you stick with the Intel version that runs under Rosetta, it's not.
It's not okay.
I believe that was the deal. I'm trying to remember because it's been a few weeks now, and I should probably look it up.
Which Rosetta won't stay around forever either, unless you're on an older Mac OS, obviously.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because
Yeah.
I have a feeling that there's a greater need for Rosetta now than there was when the Intel version of OS 10 came out.
Came out. Yeah. That very well could be. I do remember though, I think there was one app in particular when they shut down Rosetta, anybody who was using Quicken on the Mac was really upset because they did not. I think Quicken 2007 was like the last update, and they never created an Intel version. Well, they do now, but and they have a Apple Silicon version now too, but they didn't then. And I remember, but I don't remember any other huge apps at that time that were going to stop working because Rosetta was gone. I think that was probably the only one with any notoriety.
I,
Um,
I may be completely wrong in that whole super duper thing because I'm looking at their site and it does say maybe I'm confusing it with something else, but it says Super Duper 3.7. You can purchase it and back up and clone your drives for free forever.
huh? Maybe that's after you purchase it though. Maybe if you have an older version, you need to purchase 3, or I don't know.
You know, it says it's a free update for users. Existing copies of Super Duper will auto upgrade the next time they're run, or you can download now. Gosh, I
Wow.
thought there was something with the Apple Silicon version versus the Intel
Do you
version,
think it's
but
with ChronoSync?
gosh, I don't know. I don't think it was ChronoSync.
Yeah,
Because I got that one upgraded.
hmm,
Hmm.
I wonder.
Yeah, I must be thinking of something else because see, as I said, I didn't want to unfairly malign the folks at Sure Pocket because I mean,
But
look, goodness gracious, $30, 27.95.
I
If
know,
we
I
recommended
know.
this in 2006 and you bought Super Duper in 2006 and you're now receiving 16 years of upgrades
Upgrades to
for
it,
30
yeah.
bucks, that's
And
I mean, I
that's
almost feel like I want to buy
unheard of.
another copy just to
I
support
know.
them.
Well, I kind of wonder, how do they stay in business? It's like it must be kind of a labor of love or something, because that's just incredible, really, when you think about it. And like I said, I know other software does it, like ChronoSync as well, but yeah, that's kind of amazing. Although I do have to say, all this talk of Carbon Copy Cloner, ChronoSync, and Super Duper kind of makes me hearken for the old days when all you had to do was drag a system folder over to a disk or to another disk, and now it was a boot up disk. Now you could start up, and that is one thing that did get harder. With, I mean, it's not like hard, but you know it was fantastically simple in the old classic Mac days,
It,
because it
unless you
really,
unless you wanted to install a new hard drive. That
right,
that was
right.
not as
That
simple
was
because you had to
no,
purchase special blessed hard drives
yes,
or have the
yep.
software to bless them yourselves, which is really
Yep.
such a strange term.
It is such a strange term, and I don't really understand that either.
I bless this hard drive.
I wonder. I wonder if it was just some geek up late at night, you know, tired, and that's he just came up with that. I'm going to bless this hard drive to. Yeah,
No
it's been a
doubt.
long time since I've heard that term. Actually,
No doubt. Yeah,
I
I know.
think the last.
I purchased when I got that $25 Mac SE 30 and the hard drive didn't work. I purchased a a third party replacement hard drive for it, but pre-blessed.
It's pre-blessed, and that's yeah.
Yeah.
That that I think the last time I heard that term used was when I was trying to hack a Tivo and add a bigger hard drive to a Tivo that I had, and had to bless the hard drive. That was a whole pain in the butt too, but it was worth it. It was worth it because I needed more space. So,
But it was worth it.
and what has happened to Tivo? I think they're still around, but I don't.
I just read something about them. I just um, what was it I read that they're I didn't pay much attention because I've never had a TiVo, but
Yeah,
there was some news about them. Let's see if I can find it. Some news about them that let's see, TiVo news. I think they're switching to a streaming service or something.
oh, really? Interesting. They were the first DVR that I ever had. Well, I mean, they were like one of the first DVRs, and I remember trying to explain it to people, and you just couldn't explain it because it was just like you can pause and rewind live TV, and you can record stuff. It just made the VCR obsolete overnight. And but I remember I couldn't. I was not able to actually explain how it worked very well, and I still think to this day it was the TiVo kind of was sort of the Mac version of that device, I guess you wanted, because it just had probably, like we said, like I've said before with the Mac, it had a sense of whimsy about it. It was really
Mm-hmm.
easy to use, and it seemed like it was really thought out. Plus, they also had the best remote. It was like a peanut shaped remote that was just great to feel in the hand, and I don't know, it was easy to use.
It's still peanut shaped. I just went to TiVo.com and
Is it?
they have a new service called TiVo Stream 4K.
Oh, okay. So they're like doing Roku, or maybe they're doing more Netflix.
Yeah, apparently PC Mag loves TiVo Stream 4K and you will too. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Maybe,
Maybe. I don't know.
but I'm kind of thinking, why? Let's
Yeah.
see. TiVo Stream 4K. I just saw the Apple TV 4K last year's model, $99.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great
Wow.
price.
That's a really good price. Yeah, a person should snap that up because that is really good.
So $39.99. So TiVo Stream 4K is $39.99. It's basically TiVo's version of a Roku or Apple TV or Amazon Fire or
Okay.
any of those. So cool. I mean, if they still have the peanut shaped remote, they
Yeah.
still got the little TV dude with the antennas sticking out of
The
its
TV dude
head.
with the antennas. Yep. Yep.
Um, I don't want to. Yeah, so $40. I mean, it's reasonable.
Yeah, it's really reasonable. And I guess if they've got the content you want, why not?
And then they have a device called the TiVo Edge for antenna. So one device for streaming, recording, and over-the-air TV. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And then the TiVo Mini Lux extend streaming, recording, and live TV to any room. So you have the TiVo Edge, and then apparently the Mini Lux is like a little extension box.
Oh, for like a second room or something like that,
I
maybe,
yeah yeah.
or
It says extend streaming, recording, and live TV to any room. So yeah, it's
okay,
like an
okay.
extension on the TiVo Edge, which I presume you would install. So maybe the TiVo Edge for antenna is not a bad idea. Not that you can't do
No,
this already,
with right.
if
Yeah.
you want to build your own box or what have you. Not
Oh, certainly there's software out there. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there that you could, you know, put together your own thing for it. But I mean, like I said, TiVo's. I really liked it when I used it, but
yeah, it's
the big problem was they didn't. We just had Direct TV, and they stopped doing Direct TV, and then they started up again. But the DirecTV DVR had a lot better specs than the TiVo did. So they like their Genie. You could have I don't know how many different rooms set up, and so that's what we ended up using. So
that's awesome.
yeah, that actually works pretty slick.
Well, here we are, 42 minutes and 50 seconds in.
I was gonna
So I
say
think we should probably go ahead and
it start.
start
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I
So
thought
I'm
we
going.
already started. I thought the Super Duper was the kickoff. But
That was
it's
the
just Mike
yeah
and Eric talk about anything.
that well that's going to be the our other idea that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah,
The
yes,
Mike
that's
and
right.
Eric talk about anything show.
Anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just a
Okay.
little early.
Just yeah. 43. Okay. 4330. I'm going to mark it as 4330. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So I told folks at the very beginning of the stream what the idea was. It if anybody watching this in replay is still watching 43 minutes and 30 seconds into this, or maybe they clicked the bookmark that I added and just jumped straight to this point.
Jump straight into it.
But I did tell folks that we were going to talk about the next phase of bringing new life to older Macs.
Older Max.
So, why don't we get started with that? I didn't send you any show notes. Do you
No,
want me to send you some real quick?
you can. But I mean, if you got something to send, otherwise, I can follow along too.
Here, I think I can. I don't want to collaborate. I just want to. Oh, there we go. Send a copy. Okay. There we go. See if you get that.
I know everything can collaborate now. You send it in messages or?
I sent it in messages. Yeah.
All right.
But it should, it's a note. It's a Apple Notes. So it should sync to your Mac.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in messages.
Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. It didn't send it as a note. It literally put the entire contents of my note into a message. That is bizarre.
Okay.
So all it did, I thought I could send you an actual note, you know, that you could bring into notes, but it does not appear to be the case. It just sent it as a big giant text message or iMessage. Now I don't know. Maybe you can then take it and put it into notes. Okay. Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Are you still there? Hello? Hello? Did you get it? Did you get it?
Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. We're stuttering again.
Are you there? For some reason, this is like.
We're stuttering again. So I'm can you hear me okay?
Ah, shoot. No, hang on.
Trying to communicate back and forth here. We might as well be sending smoke signals. And we lost Eric. Oh, this could be another one of those wonderful. Okay. So we dropped Eric again. Check, check. Check, check. Okay, that's coming through YouTube all right. Interesting. Check, check. Okay, that's coming through YouTube all right. Interesting. We were doing so well, too. We were doing so well for so many weeks. And then last episode, which was the 14th, and now this one, we're having all kinds of trouble getting a nice, smooth. Now, and I was on Dave's show. I was on Dave's show last week. Excuse me. I was on Dave's show last week, and that worked fine. So I don't know what's going on. I was making sure. Going while we're waiting for Eric to join us again. I'm checking to make sure. Account, stream. Yeah, I turned off high quality video mode.
Okay.
I'm here.
You're here. Okay, why is it coming? Okay, hang on a second. Let me try. Come on. Why am I not getting through? Wait, no, hey, 1 second. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I switched headphones.
I see that.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I switched headphones.
I see that. Okay. Yeah. I was checking YouTube. I seem to be coming through okay, but you're stuttering.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is. And it looks like that. All right, I'll try hanging up and call again. See if that makes a difference. Because I have no idea why this is.
Oh, good Lord. I need more coffee.
Okay.
Having more coffee.
Maybe more coffee. I was trying it. I thought maybe if I switched, I wired, my headphones are wired in. There's nothing wireless here. Well, I guess my microphone's wireless.
Oh,
But I don't know what else?
I think I'm wired for everything here.
Yeah, I have no idea why
Well,
this is happening.
you're coming through okay now. And we were
Yeah,
doing great up until the 14th, that last episode.
yeah, I know. I don't understand what happened. I even shut off Wi-Fi, so I've got an Ethernet connection into my internet at this desktop, and so I should have full speed. What the heck? Oh my gosh! What is going on?
And we're breaking up again. I wonder what the heck. I wonder what the heck. Well,
I cannot believe this. Hello?
yep, I'm still here. I'm going to be
Okay.
back in just a second.
Okay, now. Okay. Yeah, I got that message. But then all
Okay.
of a sudden you pop back on.
Yeah, now you're grainy. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, if I'm going out to YouTube okay, it doesn't seem as if it's on this end.
I know. I don't, and I am not able to figure out what it is on this end.
Let me just check something here real
I
quick. I don't think this is going to work well, but I'm going to take a chance and run an internet speed test. I might reboot my router just to make sure.
okay. I can do that on my end too.
Let me see what this comes back at. We're, of course, streaming while I'm trying to do a speed test. So
Right.
I'm coming back at roughly half what I should be, but I'm coming back at 107 down and 20 up. But
But that should be okay.
that should be okay, and that's with streaming
Yeah.
taking place right now.
Right. I could check my speed test too just to see. Mine is at the moment.
And I
It's
have my
connecting.
I have high priority set to streaming.
Yeah, so I've got. All right, let's going. It's about 828 down and 35 or 36 up. So I was dropped out at 34. Okay, so 34 on up and 838 down. Damn it.
Which should be good.
So it must happen on my upstream. Yeah, I wonder. You said you have priority for streaming.
Yeah. And
How did you do that?
in the app for my router.
Oh, yeah.
So I set QoS to streaming, but then I also just added my MacBook Pro as a high priority device.
Jeez. Oh, yeah. Which router do you have?
These are TP-Link decos.
Okay. I have the Euros or whatever. And I think there is something in there, but I don't know where I can change that. I just shut off like advanced security. I shut that off thinking maybe that'll do something, but everything else I don't really have on.
Well, your audio is coming through okay right now.
Yeah. I have. And I checked nobody else is using the internet right now, so that shouldn't be a problem either.
Well, let's roll the dice and just try it.
Let's give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot.
Yep.
Here we go.
Sounds good.
All right. I keep changing our start point. 101.40. Okay, here we go. We're going to give it a try. Why not?
All right.
Here. I'm rolling the dice. I'm rolling the dice right now.
The 20-sided dice.
Yep. I'm gonna take these out of the package. Oh, well, I got a 16.
Well, add 5 to that for your modifier.
And a 70th percentile. 70th percentile. So whatever that means for streaming, we're good.
We should be good. Yeah, that should be great.
Here we go. I'm going to put my dice away. No, I'm going to just put them there.
I keep them out.
Yeah, I'm going to keep them out. Let's, here,
yeah.
I'm just, oh, no, that was a bad roll. That was a bad roll too. Okay, well, here we go.
It's just set.
It's just a 10. Really? I got a 10.
Is that your 20-sided? Do you get a 10 on?
That's a 20-sided, yeah.
Yeah.
We also have these giant ones.
Oh, cool.
These are all dice for the store.
For the store?
Yeah, they're for the store.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
There's actually the guy that makes PCalc. He makes a dice app that's really cool.
He does.
That you can throw. It's 3D dice, and yeah, it's pretty slick.
That's slick. Here we go. It's For Mac Guys Only, episode number 398 for October 28th, 2022. Getting to the core of the Apple. Hey everyone, welcome back to For Mac Guys Only, the show for the Mac community, where we share our thoughts and opinions on current Mac news and events. And joining me in the co-host seat is Eric Erickson. Hey Eric, how you doing?
Hey Mike, how you doing? For as long as I could be here, this will be great. Well, as long as everything holds up.
We're going to do our best. And I'm going to be keeping an eye on the chat room too. Nope. Are we already breaking up? Should we just call it and go old school?
Okay.
Should we go old school?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm willing to do whatever.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. Folks. I don't even know if you will ever see this, but this live stream is going to end. We're ending this live stream right now. We're having too much trouble, too many issues trying to get recording. So we're going to go ahead and end the live stream now. And we'll try again next time. So we will talk to you soon. Eric and I are going to go record old school way, OG for Mac Guys Only. And we'll talk to you next time.